And we're back. Yeah, the Supreme Court ruled yesterday 7-2, reversing a lower court decision that had blocked the apes' move to bow down to religious objectors where it concerned a certain part of the Affordable Care Act. What the court did yesterday was clear the way for the APES administration to expand exemptions for employers who have religious or moral objections to complying with the Affordable Care Act's contraceptive mandate. Oh, we're not going to have the ladies out there screwing for free. Oh, no, 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 no. The Bible says what? Tell that to David. Tell that to Solomon. Tell that to the ancient kings of Israel. Tell that to the ones that had wives and concubines and whores and hookers and hangers-on and like some big stud bull running around in a buffalo field. These Christians today just make my teeth hurt. Now, this ruling that says, okay, if you're an employer and you're providing health, and this is why health insurance should not be part of an employment contract, dear God. But if you're an employer and you don't want your bitches out there screwing for free, come on. That's something the boys get to do, not the bitches. So now you can find an insurance company that does not provide pregnancy control pills, commonly referred to as birth control pills or other forms of pregnancy control, for your employees. You don't have to do it anymore. You can say to the insurance company, my bitches are going to stay right here and they're not going to be out screwing around. And if they want sex, they can go have sex with their husbands. Now, as far as my young men, if they want to get a little out in the warehouse, that's all right with me. Oh, and I want an insurance company that will make sure I get my Viagra. But the bitches aren't going to get their birth control because, they'll go out there screwing with no consequences. I can't believe this. Can you? Oh, my God. So the ruling, 7-2, I'll get that in a second, is a win for the ape because the ape has vowed to act aggressively to protect religious liberty. Oh, ape man, that is so bullshitty, and you know it is, you scummy bastard. You know it's bullshit. Oh, that's right. The little sisters of the poor. The little sisters of the poor. A Roman Catholic religious order, the nuns. It's for women who, along with the Trump administration, asked the court to step in. Now, if I still use the F word, I would say, what the F did the Little Sisters for the Poor give a rat's ass about what some Jewish woman or Muslim woman or Protestant woman or Buddhist woman or atheist woman who decides she wants to get laid and would like some birth control and has a job and it comes through her employer? What the hell do the Little Sisters of the Poor have to say about that? Well, apparently a lot. Unbelievable. Now, in the same day, yesterday, the court also sided with religious schools in a different case. And this one didn't get any attention. The court ruled that teachers at religious institutions are not covered by employment discrimination laws. So if you work at a religious school and the headmistress or headmaster comes in and says, it says here you're a Jew? Yes, sir. Well, this is a Christian school. Yes, sir, but I'm teaching math. Well, I'm sorry, if you're a Jew, get out. That's legal now. Now, the Orange Ape said that the 7-2 ruling, according to a statement from Kayleigh McEnany, the bimbo who is now the press secretary, that it was, quote, a big win for religious freedom and freedom of conscience. Oh, joy, oh, glory, freedom of conscience and freedom of religion. That's such bullshit, and you know it is. The ape had complained in recent weeks, according to CNN, when the court ruled against him on issues like abortion and lesbian and gay rights and the DACA, the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program. But after Chief Justice Roberts sided with liberals in a couple of these significant cases in recent weeks, today or yesterday, he joined the conservative majorities in both cases. Now, let me see if I can explain this. This is provided to me by CNN. The Little Sisters case, Little Sisters of the Poor. The Little Sisters of the Poor. I mean, just to show you what absolute insane bullshit this is. The Little Sisters of the Poor work with, among others, women who have too many children. And they are therefore poor. And a lot of this is in Latin American countries. Women who are married or not, and they can't afford to feed their children, and they struggle, and the Little Sisters of the Poor show up with their little bags of food. And if these women would have had access to pregnancy control methods, I'll call them pills, they wouldn't be in this position, probably. But the Little Sisters of the Poor say, no. If you're going to screw, you can only screw your husband. If you screw someone other than your husband, because you don't have a husband, and you get pregnant, we'll be right there with the baskets of food. But we are not going to be right there with a birth control pill, you little whore. Does that make sense? To Christians, it makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. Oh, my God. The Little Sisters case required the Supreme Court justices to balance concerns for women's health care against claims of religious liberty. When did that happen? When did health care become a question of religious liberty? Oh, I know, back in the Dark Ages, oh, sure. But that's back when all diseases were caused by demon possession. And because you didn't pray hard enough, you apostate bastard, you. But this is 2020. Never mind. The law requires that employer-provided health insurance plans cover pregnancy. Why do they call it birth control? It's pregnancy control. As a preventive service for women who want it at no cost. Yesterday's ruling means that by the government's own estimates, thousands of women will have to search elsewhere for coverage. What did I hear yesterday? 164,000 women will be directly affected by this. It seems to me the number would be much higher. Justice Uncle Clarence Thomas, who wrote the majority opinion, yeah, I'm sure he would. I'm sure old Uncle Clarence would write it. He wrote that the justices held that the government, quote, had the statutory authority to craft that exemption, as well as the contemporaneously issued moral exemption, end quote. Ooh. Got some big words there, Uncle Clarence. He was joined in full by John Roberts, Samuel Alito, Neil Gorsuch, and the drunk. The drunk was right there too. Brett Kavanaugh. Wait a minute. I'm going to vote against the bitches. They want to screw for nothing, as you know. I used to go to these parties and get drunk as a son of a bitch, and then bitches used to make me say, "Where's my condom? Where's my condom?" Bullshit. And then Uncle Clarence commended the Little Sisters of the Poor, for their efforts. This is what Uncle Clarence said. For the past 7 years, they, like many other religious objectors who have participated in the litigation and rulemakings leading up to today's decision, they have had to fight for the ability to continue in their noble work without violating their sincerely held religious beliefs, end quote. How in the hell would some woman who doesn't even know Little Sisters of the Poor from a sack of goddamn donut holes, how would the Little Sisters of the Poor have been tortured and abused by women they don't know and who don't know them because the women take birth control? This is bullshit. This is such monumental bullshit. Oh, but Thomas, Uncle Clarence wasn't finished. He went on. After two decisions from this court and multiple failed regulatory attempts, the federal government has arrived at a solution that exempts the Little Sisters from the source of their complicity-based concerns, and that is the administratively imposed contraceptive mandate, end quote. Oh, well, you know the Little Sisters are out there screwing anything that'll move, right? The Little Sisters of the Poor have these nets that they have outside their nunneries. And as men walk by, they drop the nets on them, and the nets close. And then the Little Sisters crank them up into the courtyard behind the wall, and then just scrum. Oh, just boom, boom, boom. The administratively imposed contraceptive mandate that was such a concern for the Little Sisters of the Poor. Oh.
Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcasts. You have your choice. You can listen to The Ranting with the audio podcast or listen and watch me lose control with a video podcast subscription. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.